Greetings and welcome to the Merge Cell tutorial. We've all been there, rows and rows of repetitive data, and before you know it, the spreadsheet has taken a life of its own. But fear not, we'll cover all the essential techniques, from the basic keyboard shortcuts to the more advanced tricks that will impress your boss. Are you ready? Let's merge. What exactly is merge and center? And when should we use it? If we have a main heading like this, it might look better if it was centered horizontally across columns A to G. And this is the most typical use of merge and center when we have headings that span across 2 or more columns. At the moment, the text label is typed in cell A1. It just so happens that it spills over into cell B1. Notice that none of these cells have any alignment applied to them. Now, if we select cells A1 through to C1 and click on merge and center, the 3 cells have now merged into one. And it's the leftmost cell that takes precedence, which means this one big cell is referred to cell A1. And truth be known, cells B1 and C1 no longer exist. Whenever we encounter a merge cell, there is always the option to unmerge. Now, even though we're back to 3 separate cells, notice that each cell retains the center alignment. What we really want to do is select all the cells from A through to G and merge and center. And this center cell is now cell A1. Whilst we're here, we'll have a background fill color. Now, suppose this first column was actually a group ID and all these persons were part of the same group. I probably wouldn't recommend it, but we could merge and center these 3 cells. And we get this pop-up box, which is a reminder that only the top left cell is preserved. If we select these 3 cells again, we'll be able to see the difference between the different merge options. If we choose merge across, nothing will actually happen as none of the cells are in the same row. Merge cells will still warn us with the pop-up box. Now, if the other 2 cells were already empty, when we merge and center, there's no pop-up box warning necessary. In Microsoft Excel, how do we merge and combine cells without losing data? Suppose we needed the person's full name to be held inside a single cell. If we select these 2 cells, have a look at the merge options, merge cells will merge the cells without centering the text, but the leftmost cell, that rule still applies. And when we click OK, we're only left with the first name. Likewise, the merge across option will merge the selected cells into one larger cell, and we arrive at the same problem. In a scenario like this, where we want to merge the cells, but we also want to keep the data, we need to build a formula, and we're going to look at 3 different ways. First, we need to insert another column. Method 1, we can use the ampersand to join the first name and the last name together. If we want a space between the names, we can amend the formula. The space character needs to be wrapped in quotation marks. If we need to combine 2 or more cells inside of the data, we really need to avoid actually merging the cells. For a more peaceful life, we take this approach, whereby we build a separate formula to combine the cells together. Method number 2, we can use the concat function, and the concat function will join together the cells and the text strings that we list. Inside of the brackets are the function arguments separated by commas. The first piece of text is the first name. Text 2, we need to have a space. Text 3 is the last name. And because this is a formula, we can autofill down. And when the data changes, the formula updates the result instantly. This heading here represents 3 columns of data. It might be useful if we merge the heading across these 3 cells. And because the other two cells are empty, we won't get that annoying pop-up box. But thinking about it, it would make more sense to have each person's skill set listed inside a single cell. To combine the cells with other text strings, there's a third method we can use, which is the text join function. This time, instead of inserting a new column, we'll just build the formula down here. And the subtle difference with this function is we get to specify a delimiter separately. So if we wanted to use a space as the delimiter, we wrap it in quotation marks. We don't have any blank cells to worry about, so we can ignore this second argument. Another comma simply moves us to the next argument, and the text that we want to combine into a single cell is all of these three cells. Press enter and boom. The text split function makes it super easy to change the way the result is displayed. So if we double click to edit the formula, we could change the delimiter to a comma followed by a space. Press enter, boom. Now, because Excel is so fantastic, we can autofill down. And if you want to learn more about the wonders of Microsoft Excel, then you should subscribe to the channel. To finish this little task off, we can copy and paste the values. First, we're going to widen the column. Now, when we place the cursor in between up here, instead of dragging it to widen the column, we can simply double click, and Excel will widen the column according to the widest item. We can copy these three cells, but we don't want to do a normal paste. We want to paste special and choose values. And if you want to know what paste values really is, check out the difference in the formula bar. The source data is made up of a formula, whereas the values are essentially the result of the formula. We can delete these three cells. These two columns can be deleted,